What's up? I am super excited for this video. If you know me, I'm a big Disney Pixar fan, and being able to do this bracket, it was just so much fun filling out. I did it a few years ago. It is a few years old, but I decided to go ahead and try it out again, and just see what I put compared to what I did last time. I don't remember what I put last time, but just kind of seeing what I did and just going through and thinking about all these movies again. It was a lot of fun. Play along with me and let me know in the comments down what you think. But I'm going to start kind of in the bottom, go down, then go down the Pixar side, and just kind of go from there. So the first matchup we come up to is The Lion King versus Tarzan. Both of these are great movies. Both of them from the 90s, the Renaissance, the Disney's Renaissance. Just absolutely great movies. But honestly, you got to go with The Lion King first. Lion King is better than Tarzan, but that doesn't mean Tarzan's not a good movie. Still great. Next up, we got Princess and the Frog and Lilo and Stitch. Once again, two absolutely great movies. Lilo and Stitch came out in the early 2000s. Princess and the Frog, I think, was 2009. Stitch was not a musical. Princess and the Frog is. Personally, I'm going to have to go with Princess and the Frog. I know on this list I accidentally put Lilo and Stitch, but just use your imagination. I didn't feel like redoing everything, so I'm just going to go Princess and the Frog over Lilo and Stitch. Next up, we got Tangled versus Big Hero 6. Honestly, I think Big Hero 6 is a little overrated. I love Baymax, and Big Hero 6 is still a good movie, but I do think it is a little overrated. But I'm going to have to go with Tangled. But I have to go with Tangled over Big Hero 6 for that reason. I love Tangled. The music's great. The story's great. It's just a great movie. Next up, we got Frozen and Moana. And honestly, I think I might have picked Frozen if they didn't overdo it so much. And honestly, I love Moana so much. I did not like it the first time I watched it, but after that, it was a great movie. I love it. It's just a good movie. Great music. Lin-Manuel Miranda not directed it, but wrote a lot of the music for it. And it was just a fun watch. Next up, we got Aladdin and Hercules. Once again, two great movies. Aladdin came out, I want to say, mid-90s, and Hercules maybe a little bit later in the 90s. I think my wife would go with Hercules just because she likes the music better. But personally, I mean, Robin Williams as the genie is like top tier, amazing at Disney. And so with that, I'm going to have to go with Aladdin. Next up, we got Little Mermaid and Pocahontas. And Pocahontas is slept on. I'm not kidding. It is such a slept on movie. The message is great. The movie is great. It has amazing songs. With that said, though, I like Little Mermaid better. Little Mermaid is one of my top movies of all time, and Disney movies of all time as well. So, Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, I gotta go with Little Mermaid. Next is Mulan versus Zootopia. This one is easier for me. I'm not a huge fan of Zootopia. I've seen it once all the way through, and I've tried a couple other times to watch it, and I could just never really get into it. So with that, Mulan is pretty easy for me. Next up, Beauty and the Beast and Nightmare Before Christmas. So Beauty and the Beast, once again, one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Nightmare Before Christmas, I literally just watched it for the first time last year, and while it is great movie, Beauty and the Beast is better than Nightmare Before Christmas. And there you have it. That is my the first the first row of Disney. Now I'm gonna go over to Pixar. So first up, Brave and Up. This one was easy for me. Brave is not that great. It's still alright. Up was amazing. The first 10 minutes of Up is even better. So I'm going to have to go Up for that one. Next, we got Toy Story versus Toy Story 2. Honestly, Toy Story 2 was probably my least favorite out of the Toy Stories. So I am going to have to go with the first Toy Story on this one. Next up, we got Coco versus Cars. I want to say it's Cars 2. Cars 2 is the worst Pixar movie there is. And even though it's the worst Pixar movie, it's still a decent movie. But Coco just hit it out of the park when I watched it. I loved Coco, so Coco over Cars 2. Next up, Toy Story 3, The Good Dinosaur. Just like Zootopia, I saw The Good Dinosaur once in theaters, and when I tried to rewatch it, I just can never really get it all the way through. So this one was pretty easy for me, Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 was amazing. Next up, Ratatouille versus A Bug's Life. This one was hard. I like Ratatouille, and I really like Bug's Life, and this one was neck and neck. It was very hard. Really, depending on the day is how I would probably rank these. But with that, I'm going to have to go with Ratatouille. I just enjoyed that one better than Bug's Life, I think. At least for today. I don't know. At least for today. Next up, Finding Nemo versus Inside Out. Inside Out is another one I think is just a little overrated. Don't get me wrong, great movie. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it multiple times. But Nemo, not only is it a great movie, it has that nostalgia factor for me because I was like 8 or 9 when it came out, and it just reminds me of my childhood, and it's still a great movie. So I have to go Nemo over Inside Out. Next up, we got Monsters Inc. versus Cars. Monsters Inc. is a great movie. Nostalgia, once again. I remember going to see it in theaters. I mean, same with Cars, I guess, too. But the Cars did not have the same impact for me as Monsters Inc. had. Last up, we have Incredibles versus Wall-E. Very unpopular opinion. Both of these are overrated. Both of them are still good movies, but honestly, I just never see myself really rewatching these movies. But with that said, I'll put Wall-E over The Incredibles. All right, that was round 1 from both sides. Now, round 2. All right, so back over to the Disney side, we have Lion King versus Princess and the Frog. Remember, pretend I put Princess and the Frog there. You got to go Lion King. I'm sorry, you just have to go Lion King no matter how good Princess and the Frog is. Next up, we have Tangled versus Moana. And like earlier, this is another one where depending on the day is what I would put. I put Moana over Tangled, but on a different day, I might put Tangled over Moana. I like both of these movies a lot. I rewatch them a lot as well. Next up, we have Aladdin versus Little Mermaid. Another Disney Renaissance clash. Actually, I think Little Mermaid started it. Little Mermaid was 89, I think. And Aladdin, I keep forgetting, maybe 95. It might have been 92. Might have actually been 92. But I have to go Little Mermaid. I just enjoyed Little Mermaid more than I did Aladdin. Next up, Mulan versus Beauty and the Beast. Once again, this was an easier decision for me, even though I like Mulan. Beauty and the Beast over Mulan. Back over to Pixar. Now we're doing, what is it? It is Coco. Up versus Toy Story. Wow, I messed that one up. So Up versus Toy Story. Loved Up, but Toy Story was like my childhood. Toy Story over Up. Next up, we got Coco versus Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is great, but once again, Coco just blew me out of the water. I liked it so much more than I thought I would. So I'm going to do Coco over Toy Story 3. Next up, we have Ratatouille versus Nemo. This one was a little easier for me. Nemo over Ratatouille. I liked both, but Nemo is just a great movie. Next up, we have Monsters Inc. versus Wall-E. Like I said earlier, I thought those were a little overrated. The Incredibles and Wall-E. So it was an easy choice for me to do Monsters Inc. over Wall-E. All right, getting into the Elite 8. Some of these it got really hard. Definitely going into this, and each round it just got harder and harder. But I mean, honestly though, the first one back over Lion King versus Moana. This one was pretty easy for me though. Lion King. Next up, we had Little Mermaid versus Beauty and the Beast. So when I got back into Disney, Lion King or Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid were like my top 2. I watched those a lot. But if I had to pick, I'm picking Beauty and the Beast over Little Mermaid. That's just my preference. Over to the Pixar side, Toy Story versus Coco. 2 amazing movies. But I'm going to have to go Toy Story over Coco. I just feel like, yeah, Toy Story over Coco. Sorry. Next, Nemo versus Monsters Inc. 2 of my childhood movies. I love both of these movies, but I'm going Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. to me was just a better, more enjoyable film than Nemo was, even though Nemo was brilliant. That's all I can say about that. All right, so we're in the final 4. What do you think is going to go on this top 2? I'm going to start on the left side, so Lion King versus Beauty and the Beast. Not even just the best Disney movies ever made. These are some of the best animated, best movies ever made. The soundtrack for Aladdin, I mean, even Beauty and the Beast, it's like unmatched. It's ridiculous how good these movies are. With that said, I'm going to go with Lion King over Beauty and the Beast. So Lion King is going into that championship round. Back over to the other side, Toy Story versus Monsters Inc. This was an easy decision for me, but not at the same time. These are such good movies, but I kind of already knew what I was going to do before I really thought about it. Love Monsters Inc. But like I said, Toy Story was probably like my number one movie in childhood. Had a huge nostalgia factor, and it still holds up. I mean, if you watch Toy Story 1 though, compare, I know I'm kind of going to dog on it right now, but if you watch Toy Story 1 compared to Toy Story 5 and see just the absolute difference in animation. I know, so Toy Story 4 was like the first time the computer animated movie was ever made, I'm pretty sure, and it was just amazing. So I'm going Toy Story over Monsters Inc. So Toy Story is in the final for Pixar. Lion King is in the final for Disney. Leave it down in the comments. What do you like better, Lion King or Toy Story? What side is better, the Disney side or the Pixar side? I'm gonna have to go the Disney side because it just, I think top to bottom has a better list. But overall, the champion and one of my favorite or the best Disney movie for this bracket, The Lion King. Like I said in the last round, just the music, the score, the everything about this movie is just amazing. The animation, I enjoyed this movie so much. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. It's one of the best movies ever made. Really enjoyed Lion King. With that said, though, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know in the comments what you agreed with, what you didn't agree with, and if there's any other brackets that you would like to send to me, please do, because this was just fun to fill out. If you would like one of these brackets, go follow me on Instagram, send me a direct message, and I can send you the picture of a blank one if you would like to do it as well. And if you make a video, make sure to tag me on it, because I'd like to watch that as well. With that being said, thank you so much for joining, and if you got this far, hit that subscribe button, help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Peace.